Today's video is super special because it's not just for bass players, it's for anybody who plays a musical instrument. Today, we're going to be talking about metronomes. Are they helping or are they hindering? I'll see you inside the video. Hey, it's James here from eBassGuitar. Now, today's video is super special because it is our 300th video on YouTube and we are celebrating. So today, I want to do something a little bit different. Now, I've been publishing on YouTube way back to 2016 now, and I've seen a lot of themes and trends over that time. And one of the debates that I've seen constantly raging is to do with metronomes. So right now, I want to have a brief rant and stand up for something that I really, truly believe in. Now, over the last 6 or 7 years of publishing, I've seen a ton of trends. And the metronome has been a highly contentious debate. It's had people in the camp who say metronomes are simply not needed, all the way through to the other camp, which say metronomes are the most important educational tool that you can have. Now, it can get pretty contentious, this debate, and really black and white. And I don't think black and white contentious debates have any place in musical education because it is constantly evolving and new ideas are coming in. So what I want to do today is share my ideas on how the metronome should be used and what I think is the best practice which will help you get the most out of this device. These, of course, are my ideas, and I would love to hear your ideas too. So please do let me know how you think the best way to use the metronome is in the comments below. Also, I've got a really quick favor to ask just before we get going. Can you like and subscribe to the channel? Because we are constantly trying to grow the reach of the eBassGuitar channel. And one of the simplest and best ways you can do that is to simply subscribe to the channel and hit that red button. That will get the algorithms moving and get this important video in front of more musicians and hopefully help them push their playing forward so they become better musicians. Now, if you're watching this video, the chances are you're already familiar with the basics of what a metronome does, but may not be so familiar with what the purpose of this device is. For me, the purpose of a metronome is to check and benchmark your playing. Now, in practice, what this means is developing your technique and speed, and also developing your musical time and rhythm too. Now, here's the thing, a metronome in isolation will not make you a better musician, but it will help you develop your skills. The most useful analogy that I've got of how a metronome should be used is I want you to think about the great 100-meter runner Usain Bolt. Now, he does the 100 meters, the world record of this, I've just looked it up, in 9.58 seconds. Now, the most important device he's got to measure this is a simple stopwatch. But a stopwatch will not make him a faster runner. However, the stopwatch will measure what he does. So I want you to imagine this hypothetical situation. And this really is hypothetical. So Usain Bolt is in training. And all of a sudden, his times start going down from round about 10 seconds to 11 or 12 seconds. And this happens, I don't know, 5 to 10 times. At this point, his trainers will probably step in and go, there's something wrong here. We need to look at your running technique and fix something. Now, at this point, no amount of keeping running the race and timing using that stopwatch is going to help. What's going to help is to start looking at his running technique very slowly. And exactly the same goes with you as a musician or bass player. Because if you can't play something slowly, you're never going to be able to play it fast. Now, to illustrate this point, I want to show you something that I've been working on for the last few days. Now, I've been getting used to this wonderful Dingle fan fret bass, which we're currently, at the time of making this video, giving away in the eBassGuitar Summer Giveaway 2023. And I've been getting used to this different fretting system. And one of the exercises I've been using is playing a C major 7 arpeggio 2 octaves. So this is simply C, E, G, B, and then C, E, G, shift up to the B and the C, and then come back down. And I started off playing this at 80 beats per minute. So let me show you that with the metronome. I'm doing is 2 notes per beat there. And that was sitting quite nicely for me to begin with. But what I typically do at this point is then put this into 16th notes to see if I can hold the tempo. So let me show you. So quite a lot more challenging. And I was finding one specific thing kept going wrong in this. Now, this was where I made the position shift from the G here up to the B and the C. And I realized the fan fretted basses were slightly different. My shifting needed to alter very slightly because the frets move inwards towards the center of the neck. Now, keeping going, practicing that round and round at that fast tempo would be completely fruitless. So what I did, and this is what I suggest you do, is take it out of time, because I found a little fault, a little gremlin in my bass playing that I needed to start fixing. So this is what I did. I created a very simple 4-note phrase using exactly the same fingering from the arpeggio. So what I did was the G, B, C, B, and I practiced that round and round really slowly till I was really comfortable with it. Then I put the metronome back in on that one phrase, like this. And then practice that round and round and then sped it up. Then over a few days, that shift got comfortable and started going into the brain and the fingers and what is often called the muscle memory. So I was able to consistently play 16th notes at 80 beats per minute, which sounds like this. Now that exercise up to tempo would have never worked if I hadn't taken that one part of the arpeggio apart and practiced it in isolation. So now I want to show you how you can use the metronome as a creative tool to start improving your internal time and sense of rhythm. So one of the things I have seen over the years is the metronome, once you get comfortable with it, can become a bit of a crux. To the point I've seen certain musicians that can't play without a metronome or start to lose confidence. So how you can start working more creatively with the metronome to develop your time and rhythm is to have the metronome giving you less information. The more information the metronome gives you, the more you've got to hang on to. So how we do this is we simply start taking out beats. So what I'm going to do with the metronome is I'm going to take out beats 2 and beats 4. So the gaps between the clicks are much longer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the same 2-octave C major 7 arpeggio and play it with the click, and notice how it feels very different. You've got much less to hang on to, and it will make the timing of each note that much more critical. Let me demonstrate. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what you'll notice is a certain amount of bending and flexing and trying to find that sweet point with the notes that do line up with the click. And it's perfectly normal that it would take a few attempts or maybe a few days or a few weeks to really lock in with this and get it feeling comfortable. So it's time to really push myself to demonstrate this concept. I'm really going to take the training wheels off the bike, or the stabilizers if you're in the UK, and work with one click every bar. And this is really challenging. So it will probably take me a few attempts to get this really locking nicely. But let's see if I can do it. Let's do it 8th notes and then I'll do 16th notes. So here's 8th notes at 80 beats per minute. here's 16th notes at 80 beats per minute. So it's absolutely perfectly normal. It will take a few attempts to bend and flex in and really find that point, that sweet spot where you lock really nicely with the click, because you'll start to see your tendencies to speed up and slow down throughout a phrase. And that's where this exercise gets really exciting. So that's it for today, guys. As you probably guessed, I am a fan of the metronome. I think it's got a huge place in musical education and will help so many of you become better musicians. It will help you check and benchmark your playing. It will help you decipher what you need to improve in your technique. But remember, it will not make you a better bass player. It is just a tool that we've got to really start developing our playing. So please use it wisely. So guys, that's the end of today's video. I really hope you've got some valuable insights into how the metronome can be a really valuable tool to improve your time, your rhythm, and your technique. So please, let's end this black and white argument that metronomes are either evil or an absolute godsend that we can't live without. They are just a tool which is really valuable and really helpful. A little bit like Usain Bolt's stopwatch, which can really help us develop our bass guitar skills. So that's it for today. If you've enjoyed the lesson, please do hit that red subscribe button so you can see more content from the eBassGuitar YouTube channel and also help us grow our reach. If you are a bass player, please also head on over to eBassGuitar.com and check out the Bass Lab Plus. There is a full step-by-step program there designed especially for beginner to intermediate bass players who want to take their bass playing to that advanced level. Cheers, I've been James from eBassGuitar.com and I will catch you next time.